I hear God saying something big is gonna happen. I hear him whisper, just keep your eyes on me. It's getting ready to open doors, no man can shut. It's getting ready to tear down every wall that's been holding you up. So don't lose faith, don't turn away. Keep your heart set in the place you pray, because what you promised is on its way, and the blessings closer than it's ever been today. Something big is gonna happen in your life. Turn it all around, something good is gonna make it right. Change will break.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, principal, teachers, distinguished guests, my fellow graduates, family, and friends. Today, I stand before you not as someone with a perfect story, but as someone with a real one. This is not a fairy tale, it is a testimony. I never dreamed I would make it to college. My life was rigid for failure from the start. Growing up in Clarendon, my story began on a veranda where I was left by my mother at 6 months old, with nothing but a bag of cheese strips. If someone had not seen me and found my father at his workplace, I would not be standing here today. Many would have counted me out. At age 13, my dreams was robbed from me. At 13, I was molested by my stepbrother and became pregnant. I remember being alone in the hospital after having my baby, suffering with no one to visit. I was being prepared to send away, and my child given up for adoption. But God wouldn't have it that way. Even eventually, my daughter's grandmother came for me, not out of love, but for labor. The very next day, I was washing 2 barrels of clothes while my body was still healing. I remember going to the bathroom and seeing my life's blood leaving me because of the strain. I never even had the chance to properly finish high school or even enter high school. After having my baby, I went back to the Women's Center in Clarendon and I sat my grade 9 exam. I passed for NAPS College, and for a moment, it felt like my life was about to change. However, my future was taken from me. Because I was expected to be less than others, my stepmother never wanted me to be better than her sons. Because of the circumstances surrounding my pregnancy, because of this, because of things that were done to me that were never my choice. Back in Clarendon, they called me Cinderella. But there was no magic, only survival. At 14, I was washing for 14 people in one yard while raising a child on my own. I washed, I cooked, I went to bush to find wood. At 16, I was on the streets, nowhere to go, no family to take me in. I ended up staying with relatives connected to the child's father. But what I thought would be shelter became another painful chapter. I experienced abuse again, pain that no young girl should ever have endured. It felt like I was jumping from the frying pan into the fire. I was molested this time, not by one male figure, but by 3 of them. Even to think one was getting married the next day, and I was molested today. I did odd jobs to survive. These places was farms, in bars, as a packer at Old MacDonald Farm, facing abuse and betrayal and pain. There came a moment when it all became too much. I felt like giving up, even ending my life. But in that darkest moment, I heard a voice saying, "No, don't do it." That voice changed everything. God had a plan that my trauma could not cancel. My faith was sometimes only the size of a mustard seed, but even that was enough. In 2015, I met my husband, and everything began to change. He helped me leave my work behind, and for this, the first time, I began to see a path forward. In 2019, I started working as an assistant teacher at a basic school while I studied customer service. I completed the course but couldn't find a job, and the school I hoped to work at shut down in 2020. I found myself at home searching for opportunities. Instead of giving up, I decided to volunteer my service at the Portmore High and Preparatory High School. Little did I know that what began as a volunteering service would turn into 2 years contract teaching grade 1 and 2. While teaching, I applied at Archos to study early childhood education, but that was not God's plan for me. Class began without me. Instead, I felt called to something else. I realized my heart had always been drawn to nursing, and I applied to study at Distinction College. By God's grace, I was accepted. And today, I can proudly say my calling, my passion, and my purpose are finally aligned with God's plan. God always placed people in my life who became answers to prayers I didn't even know how to pray. He gave me my husband, a man who saw my worth when I couldn't see it myself. A man who supported me not just financially, but spiritually. He stood by me while I rebuilt my life from the ground up. God also placed people. I wish my father was here today to see this. He was not a perfect father, but he was my father, and I know he would have been proud.
Oh, yes, he would.
To my family, my friends, and especially to my husband, thank you. And to my dear friend, Jolene, big up yourself, girl. We did it. I met you through my story, and I thank you for your friendship. Thank you for picking me up in Dale, for waiting for me patiently so I could get a ride from my home and meet you and come to school together with you. Thank you for putting me even on a taxi and sending me home and calling to make sure I reach home safely. Thank you also for encouraging me when in the practical room after the embarrassment from Mr. Walker. I guess we all know him, and he loved to say, I love to give zeros. You showed me that there are still genuine people in this world, and for that, I am truly grateful. My husband always says, some of us are late bloomers, and I know, and I have come to understand that being a late bloomer is not a weakness, it is a testimony. Because when you bloom after a winter like mine, you bloom with a strength that cannot be broken. To my fellow graduates, do not compare your journey to anyone else. Your timing is divine. Not all flowers bloom at the same time. But when your time comes, you will be the most beautiful in the batch like you are now.
Oh, yeah.
As Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it is done. And as Marcus Garvey said, if you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life.
Oh, yeah.
Today is proof that where you start does not determine where you will finish. Your past does not cancel your purpose. God takes broken stories and turns them into powerful testimonies. In addition, today I stand before you not just as a survivor, but as a trail breaker. I have broken generational curses. We have broken generational curses. And we have shattered every limitation that tries to define us. So, my fellow graduates, walk boldly into your future. Trust God and never give up on yourself. Be the best nurse you can be to the elderly, to the vulnerable, to everyone placed in your care. Always be willing and ready to help. Remember, you are not here only to earn a salary. Always, you are here to change lives through your smile, through your compassion, and through your love. I know this because I have already seen the difference it makes through my work experience at a nursing home. I didn't just go there to complete hours. I went there to serve. I fixed broken fans so patients could be comfortable. I brought a card from my home so that a patient could listen to her radio again. I advocate for a wheelchair for a patient who needed one. I even share food with those who had little. Where there is discomfort, I brought relief. Where there was silence, I brought joy. Where there was no smiles, I helped bring them back. And that is what nursing is truly about.
Oh, yeah.
So as you go forward, remember, people may never remember your name. People may forget your name, but they will never forget how you made them feel. If this girl who washed 2 barrels of clothes while her body was broken can stand here today as your valedictorian, if this girl who was molested not once, not twice, but multiple times, who was beaten, called Cinderella, abandoned by her mother, left alone in the hospital, and never had a chance to attend high school, can stand here before you today, then I promise you, with God, all things are possible. Thank you, and may God bless you.